Oh my life, I'm back. Now today's video is a little bit of an epic one because it runs to over 45 minutes. Because on Thursday we had our lovely vet Sam here, and well, once you start working through all the horses it can turn into quite an epic day. So we thought you'd enjoy coming along with us. We kick off with Hida, who had both he's pulling faces at Nero back there, but he had both his teeth and his sarcoid looked at. Then we moved on to little Smurfy, Prince. He was having his old man MOT. He's doing really well. He didn't need his teeth doing, but Sam did give him the once over just to make sure that he's ticking along nicely. Had a look at his eyes, so that's all really fascinating. Now around 22 minutes it does get a little bit serious. Anya needed some of the growths on her chest removing for biopsy. So as fascinating as it is to see Sam work, it is really quite graphic. So if you're squeamish, you may prefer to skip ahead to, I think, around about 34.5 minutes. After that, we have Iceman, and some of you might remember he had that little lump above his eye earlier this year that unfortunately turned out to be sarcoid. It did pop off, but it is making a comeback, so you'll hear a little bit more about what Sam suggests with that. Then it's on to Niki news. The poor girl has suffered with diastemas for years. That's where she gets gaps in her teeth. So Sam does talk us through the options for making her more comfortable. We haven't included every routine dental check in this video, otherwise you'd be here all day and all night. And some of you may have seen that we shared Nero's on a live stream on the day, so if you've not seen that, head over to the channel. But really what started out as a fairly ordinary round of dental work has turned into quite a list of follow-ups. So in a couple of weeks, Nika's going to be heading up to the vets at Penrith for 2 tooth extractions. Hida's going to be fitted with a bridge. Who knew horses could have that? I didn't. Iceman's going to have that sarcoid seen to, and Hoyt's going to be going back for more arthritis medication and some more work on his teeth. Now, we don't know the full cost of this visit until the bill lands next month, but to give you an idea of what we're up against, we've included a breakdown from one of our vets' visits back in June when Sam did some other dental work. A huge thank you, as always, to those who've already supported us with our monthly vets costs. It really does make a very big difference to us and helps us keep them all in the best possible shape. So, as I say, September overall looks like it's going to be a really expensive one for the sanctuary, but for very good reason. And with your help, we can make sure that all these horses stay comfortable, happy, and able to enjoy their golden years with a little bit of dignity for those that are a little bit older these days. So if you'd like to chip in towards any of those costs, there is a dedicated option on the website, and honestly, every little helps more than you will ever know. So as always, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching, but I want to end by saying a huge thank you as well to Sam for allowing us to film so much of him. He does such a brilliant job of explaining what he's doing and why, and I think that you'll all thoroughly enjoy it. But as a reminder again, just avoid the bits where Annie's having her little bit of surgery because it is quite graphic. So Sam's starting with Hida. He's just given him a little bit of sedative. He's going to take a look at his sarcoid area where he lasered the extra growth off a few months ago, see whether he rings the bit that's growing, and then he's going to take a look at his teeth. Are you going to pop it out now, or is it not that close?
No, I think it's going to be a bit sore for him. Just pop it out now, but I don't think putting a ring on it's going to be particularly beneficial. I think that'll, I think it will just come off.
Because what did his last report say?
He's got quite a big diastema between the last 2 teeth on his upper arcade, which is more unusual than the lower.
Because did you say last time about the possibility of widening it, but it's quite wide already?
Yeah. Once I've got it all cleared out, we'll see how... Oh, is that tooth loose?
I mean, he's certainly not dropping weight, but is he quite sore in there?
I think he will be, yeah. It's hard to sort of think, with the smell of it, that there's not going to be a lot of gingival inflammation there. All right, mate.
Or is it quite narrow?
No, not really. It's the opposite. It's, you know, widening it's not really going to achieve very much because it's already quite wide.
So would it be an option with someone like him to take a tooth out?
Well, yes, potentially. Although, yeah, it's just there's so many sort of potential complications with taking a. All right, mate. All right, I'm not taking a tooth out. That is very much a last resort.
Right.
I mean, another option would be to potentially to try and bridge across the diastema to actually sort of, you know, I sometimes put putty in them.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't stay in there, does it?
Doesn't bond to the tooth.
No.
Whereas you can put a filling in that we use when we basically fill cavities in teeth.
Oh,
And that
right.
actually sort of sticks to the tooth and bonds the tooth. And that. Whoops, sorry.
No, you were aiming for me there.
No, I wasn't actually.
Yeah,
No,
you were. You missed.
Higher up. That's a possibility. I don't know who should. It's just.
And do they tend to stay in
Yeah,
better?
they tend to do all right. Yeah, and that's the only thing is it's quite a wide one. So if it did, it have to be a bit stronger. I mean, the biggest problem would be getting him still, because if he's doing this, you can't do it.
Right.
Because you have to it be very precise in where it goes, and and it has to be. Well, first of all, you sort of drill the edges of the tooth off, and then you sterilise it, etch it, make sure it's bone dry, and then put the filling in. So if he's sort of constantly with his mouth, you just can't do it because
Right.
he'd keep making the dry bit wet with saliva and sterilise it, and it's just not.
But that's less invasive than having the tooth out.
Oh yeah,
So-
absolutely,
so
yeah.
that's
It'd be the
something
thing
that-
to try first anyway.
So you could do that up at the surgery if you
Yeah,
had him
yeah.
in the stocks.
Yeah,
So I suppose if I was going to bring Hoytzer up,
yeah, we could give it a go at doing that. Yeah.
I just think because otherwise it's obviously getting bad quite quickly because
Yeah.
if this is only
This is
not even quite 4 months since he last had
Yeah.
them done.
yeah, absolutely. He's got a big swelling in his cheek here.
Has he?
Mm.
Oh yeah, do you remember when you did him? It was probably about a year ago.
Right.
He had a big ulcer on his cheek.
Right. Well, it could be that. Well, he's still got it slightly. There.
Right. Okay.
And this is all really. You can see how knobbly it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably because he's had food stuck in there. Right. Okay.
So where the diastema
No,
is.
he's got two between the front two teeth and the back two teeth on both sides, upper and upper sides. Between the left and right,
Yeah.
upper jaw, front two teeth and back two teeth have got diastema, and the worst ones are between the back two, but it's where the sort of his cheek's gone a bit knobbly is between the front two, just on this side here. Good man, good lad. Yeah, he's a good man. Well done.
The edges are rough.
It's probably or potentially even a reaction to sort of periodontal disease, from his diastema. So I'm just going to flush these gaps out again, and then again put a bit of. Well, if you'll stay still for it, put some putty in. But I think maybe we'll try bridging them just to give him a bit more permanent or sort of longer lasting relief.
Yeah.
Again, it's to an extent, it all depends on whether we can keep him still enough.
Yep. But we've got better chance of doing that up at the surgery than here, haven't we? Do you want a stable to sleep in? So well done. Well done. Okay, so we've got little Papa Smurf, little Princey in his very posh. Do you like his head collar?
Love it.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
So why Papa Smurf? Is it because he's got a blue head collar?
Well, I don't know, how did he end up as Smurfy? Was it because of his rug last year, his blue rug? Yeah. So Prince turned 29 last
29?
month. 29 years old last month. And one of our lovely supporters, Linda, would like to know what general health checks you could give him as an older horse, what you would generally recommend looking at, and also having a look at his eyes, which sometimes look a little bit bloodshot and sometimes look a little bit puffy. So,
does he rub them?
Doesn't. I'm just looking at Frey. I've not really seen him rub them.
No.
He does bob his head around quite a bit, mostly in the summer, which I kind of think is to do with the flies, but
The flies always like it around his eyes.
Right.
but he doesn't like wearing a fly mask.
Right, okay. And you never see his eyes being held partially shut? They're always open
No.
symmetrically to the same degree?
They seem to be, yeah. It's just the inside here that last month it looked quite red, and it doesn't look red now, but
Yep.
I don't know whether there's something that might cause that.
That's a good fella. Good lad. He doesn't get spooky. He doesn't look like he's bumping into things or anything like that.
Not really. I mean, sometimes you think that he doesn't see things, don't you think, Frey?
Yeah, he's also quite suspicious of most things, but I don't know if that's just him.
Yeah.
That's a good fella. Looks all right. I'll just grab my scope from the car. Can these lights go off? I don't know the way it sounds surprised when they say that. Of course you're pleased to see me. Surely Prince, aren't you? Good lad.
He does look particularly happy today.
He does.
Good man.
I think it's because he's got his best hat on.
He's got his best hat on.
Yeah, you haven't got yours on.
No, I was going to say,
No.
is this a hat?
Well,
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
that's fine. That's
effectively.
fine. I can call that a
It's
hat,
like
yeah.
their rugs are jumpers.
Good lad. Good man.
So what are you looking for at the moment?
From this distance, looking to see whether he's got any sign of cataracts, which I can't see at the moment. And when you're going in close, you're sort of more looking towards the, looking at his retina in a bit more detail. Good man.
What sort of thing would you expect to see in an older horse?
Well, he has got a very slight cataract on this side, but it's very mild, which is, I mean, to be honest, they're not rare in any age of horse from sort of middle age onwards, but they're quite common in older horses, but there won't be enough to significantly affect his vision at the moment. They can also get growths on the eye, and particularly if you say they're he's a bit red in the corner of his eye, the third eyelid can get, again particularly in greys, can get a type of tumour on, but it doesn't look like he's got that.
Okay.
And also it'd be unusual for that to be symmetrical. You know, if there's one side more than the other, that'd be more common. But you know, the fact that he's, it's the puffiness is the same on both sides.
Yeah.
Suggests that he's just. I mean, it's difficult to say. I mean, it could be fly irritation. Could be he's got an allergy to something. Could be just that the musculature around the eye is not quite as good as it used to be, and so you know, in the same way that people can get sort of slightly droopy eyes as they get older, as I've noted in the last 5 years, my sort of mine has sort of done that.
All drooping, yeah.
I'm not getting
All
Botox
aging
just
together.
yet, but you know, everything does sort of
Yeah.
become a little bit less tense, and the less tightly the eyelid sits against the cornea, the more you're going to get dust in there, and you get wind exposure, and the eye's going to get a bit drier, and that can make them a bit inflamed. I mean, in fact, if you look at the corner of his eye, you can sort of, well, potentially more on this side, you can see that here it doesn't potentially sort of sit quite as, you know, it could potentially sort of sit a bit more like that. And now when you let him relax, it's slightly, the corner of the lower lid is sitting less closely against the cornea.
Right.
And so I think it's probably an age-related thing, and I can't see any sign of actual disease there, so I wouldn't.
Okay, so there's nothing we need to do differently.
No,
okay.
absolutely, no.
So what else?
I'll have a listen to his chest.
Yeah.
That's sounding. Good man. And he's not actually been losing weight though.
No, he, as I say, we give him a little bit more feed.
Yeah.
Especially during the winter, because I guess you expect it in older horses. He's dropped a bit of top line.
Yeah.
But we've got him on linseed mash and some competent condition.
Yeah. But then, I mean, if he's not in a lot of work, he is going to lose muscle, and his top lines are, well, you know, this bit in here it's essentially a muscle. It's a muscle that runs along the back, and if he's not in a lot of work, you know, and again, same as people, if they get older, do less exercise, the muscle starts fading away, and so as long as he's not actively sort of obviously losing weight despite having plenty of food and eating well, I wouldn't be worried. I mean, if he loses a bit of weight in this winter, then puts it back on in the summer, then that's sort of to be expected, and that's, you know, it's reassuring that he puts it back on in the summer.
Okay, given that you know and you consider all our horses to be a little on the rotund side,
I'd say he's about right.
Would you say weight-wise?
I wouldn't.
We've got
no.
one here that's about right.
You can actually feel his ribs, and you can actually even see them. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah, we're getting it right with one of them. Well done,
that's
Friesian.
good.
And you're supposed to be able to see all horses' ribs.
No, we'll ignore that question.
I would prefer to see a horse's ribs and not be able to see them, particularly if you've got sort of the sun shining in a certain direction, so they're sort of highlighting the ribs. I think you should be able to see them. I mean, they shouldn't be stark, but they definitely shouldn't be buried.
Anias can be seen at certain angles.
Good.
Okay.
He has got a couple of melanomas under his tail.
That's quite
presumably
common. Do you want to go around and check? So that's quite common in grey ponies and horses, isn't it?
You get the really glamorous aspect here. You see these little lumps here. But yes, it is. If I take the torch away. I mean, they're not big, but you can definitely feel them. There's melanomas there. But no, they're very common. I used to say leave alone, whereas now I don't. Having said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lump is, if a lump's there, by definition, it's got bigger.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why, if it's got bigger, it should suddenly stop.
Okay.
And it's a lot easier to remove a lump that's that big than one that's that big.
True.
And so I sort of think once you found a lump, and he is going to be a rare exception, I would normally say, let's remove it. He's an exception at the moment because he's more senior in years, older, let's just say it. And so I would keep an eye on them and, you know, check them every couple of months. You could even sort of take a picture of them now, another one in a couple of months. And if they're clearly getting bigger quickly and he remains fit, then I probably would remove them.
Okay.
Whereas
How
if-
would you usually remove
Laser.
them? Laser as well.
Yeah. I mean, well, I say laser, combination of laser and sharp surgery. I've done, with those, because they're relatively small, I'd probably use laser. I've done some really big anal melanoma resections, and I'd use a combination of laser and sharp surgery for various reasons. One is speed, because laser takes a long time, and also you can't stitch tissue that you've cut with a laser, whereas you cut it with a scalpel, and you then have to sort of reflect basically the anal mucosa, rectal mucosa, to stitch it onto tissue you've removed it from. Then you have to do that with ordinary surgery.
Right.
So yeah,
So
definitely
we'll just keep an eye on them.
definitely keep an eye on them, and I suspect, don't listen, Prince, there'll be something else which becomes sort of serious for him before that does. But if they're growing quickly, because he's a fit 29-year-old, he could, you know, if in the space of 6 months they started looking like they're going to cause a problem, I'd say let's do something about them, because if he remains looking fit and healthy, he could have a lot longer left, and therefore, if they suddenly do start causing him an issue, you want to get on top of it before it's a problem.
I suppose it's like the sarcoids, isn't it? You know, if they're only growing very slowly, then you don't necessarily
That's what I
deal
was
with
checking for under here to make sure I hadn't got any melanomas or sarcoids there, but I can't see any.
Okay. So the other thing with older ponies is obviously things like Cushing's.
Yeah, absolutely. What's his thirst like? Does he drink any more or less than usual?
I wouldn't say that he does. Do you think, Frey?
He only drinks out the tin.
Yeah, he's very particular where he drinks, but I wouldn't say he's...
No.
Right.
So would that be one of the signs?
Yeah, I mean, there's loads and loads of signs, but...
The coat is another, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Loads of horses with Cushing's, you don't actually see many coat changes. Having an increased thirst is definitely a symptom. I mean, we can take a blood from him to check a hormone level. The only thing about it is that there's a range of normal, and similarly it can be stress related, and so seeing a slightly elevated ACTH, that's the hormone that we measure in a horse that's otherwise clinically normal, can be difficult to interpret. If you found one that was really, really high, then yeah, you'd probably say it makes sense to put him onto treatment.
Okay. But looking at him today, would you suggest that would be a useful thing to do, and would we change our management of him?
If it came back really high, you'd probably put him onto a drug called Pergolide, which is the treatment for Cushing's. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he did have a slightly elevated level. Similarly, there's nothing about him other than his age which makes me think, yes, he's a classic Cushing case in that, you know, you wouldn't think he's 29 looking at him.
No.
And if you told me he was 17 and said, do you think we need to test him for Cushing's routinely? I'd say, well, not particularly. He hasn't got a massively pot belly. His muscles are still quite toned. He's not drinking more. He's not struggling with sort of recurrent infections. He's not lethargic. His energy levels all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when Annie's chasing him around the arena.
There'd be... If he was 10, 15 years younger, there's nothing that I would say, yeah, we should definitely test him just to check. And so based on that basis, I'm quite happy to blood test him, but I wouldn't say it's something that you should definitely be doing.
So I think that's something that we could look at for future if we need to.
Absolutely.
But generally you would say that he's...
No, I think he looks really well for
There you go.
His age.
Droppings look fine, you know. Do they?
Right on cue.
Yeah.
Good lad. Good boy. Whoa, 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 whoa.
He's just trying to make you smile.
Oh no. Who? Talking to me or him?
Both.
Right. Good lad.
All right, sweetheart.
Yeah, that's fine. Just checking his colour really, because under his tail, near his melanomas, where there's a white bit of skin, he looks slightly yellow. But I think it's just fecal staining. The rest of his colour looks okay. And if he was slightly yellow, it would be classically a sign of liver disease. And liver disease, it tends to be losing weight and showing other signs if it was severe enough to make them look jaundiced, and he's not. So, yeah.
So
you know, I mean,
you were looking at
never,
the colours of his gums
Yeah,
then to
absolutely, yeah,
see if
yeah.
they were a little bit yellow.
You know, it's not the wrong thing to do to get a blood of him, just to do a general health screen to look at what his blood cell pictures looking like in his liver, kidney, protein levels are like. But similarly, there's nothing outwardly which makes you sort of think he needs it. He looks like it. Well, for his age, looks a very healthy pony. So
I think you're all good. I think we get the thumbs up for you today. You can go back to following Annie round the yard. Unrequited love.
in which direction? Him to Annie?
Yeah, him to Annie, although she was a bit mean to him the other day. She chased you around the arena, didn't she? You had a lover's tiff. Right. I know I've asked you lots of times over the years about her chest.
Oh yeah.
And we tried the Lucilin spray for a long time. It's definitely helped Hoytz's chest.
Okay.
But I just
have we biopsied it?
No.
Right.
No. So I think they appear, you know, all the way up here and around there, and it's catch-22 with her, because if we leave her without a rug, she's really itchy, she rubs on everything.
Yeah.
We put a rug on and it's fine as long as it's dry, but
Yeah.
of course as soon as it rains and the rainwater gets down here, it irritates her chest even more. So they're not badly
it's not progressing, is it? It's not getting more widespread.
It goes through stages. Like, this isn't as inflamed as it can get, but this one's just popped up, and that will probably get quite unpleasant for a few days, and then it'll go down.
But in terms of sort of spreading,
it's not spreading on her body, no.
Right.
So it does. It's literally where the rug sits.
Yeah.
But I can't leave her without a rug, because otherwise she just scratches the whole rest of her body because she's so sensitive.
So
and we've tried everything.
She rugged all year round then?
Pretty much. I mean, we try and leave her certain days where it's windy, where there's not so many midges around, but she's so sensitive.
And would she rub her mane out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's probably all part of the same disease process. I mean, but this, I mean, I think the only thing we could do would be to biopsy these just to make sure that they are just sort of in. Well, it looks like granulation tissue, really, doesn't it? Just, you know, reactive healing wound.
Because we've tried every lotion and potion going. We've changed her complete diet.
Yeah. I think particularly if she's sweet itchy, then it's almost certainly part of the same allergy system.
So there's not a lot we could do about it. Because we did those injections last year. What were they?
And didn't make any difference.
Didn't make any difference to her.
No, I think it's very, very variable what it does. I mean, you can do specific allergy testing, and then if she comes back as being allergic to certain things, you can get sort of injections individually made which modulate the immune system. I mean, they're used much more commonly in dogs than horses, but we have got horses on it, and it can be helpful in some cases. Not all by any means, and there's a couple of ways of doing it. You can either, sort of the best way of doing it is to inject the skin with lots of different allergens, or you inject one with just distilled water, one with histamine, so you've got like a no reaction and a big reaction, and then I don't know however many they use, from 60 odd different allergens just in a bald patch on the skin, and see how they all react. And then,
have you had any success with horses with that?
I've only done it a few times, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely not been curative, but it probably helps to an extent. Yeah, but again,
I'm probably a little bit sceptical. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's there's good science behind it, at least in. I say it's much more commonly done in dogs, and we've got, I don't know, loads of dogs on immunotherapy injections at the surgery, and it definitely helps. No question, it helps.
Right.
And the reason that I'm a bit sort of vague about horses is probably just because you don't do it as often. So it's difficult to sort of say yes, it definitely helps when you've only got a few on it.
Well, maybe we do go down that route. Do you know roughly what sort of cost we're looking at?
No, but I can find out.
Just because, as I say, we've tried every lotion and potion going, changed the diet, and I mean, she's always had really sensitive skin.
This is sort of too chronic for it, really. I mean, just rubbing stuff on that. I mean, it's been going on so long that, I mean, you'd even wonder, but mainly because you've got so many other horses with him, whether that's sarcoid. Yeah, absolutely.
But then, if that is sarcoid, there's not a lot you could do about it, because they come and then they go. Well, no, it can't be sarcoid, can it?
They do heal up completely.
Like this one that's come up new the other day, that'll be there for a few weeks, and then it will disappear.
Right. Well, that can't be sarcoid. But what about that?
Yeah. No, these ones have probably been here for a while. But then why would you get new ones popping up and then disappearing?
Well, you wouldn't if it was sarcoid.
No.
You wouldn't. No. I'd be tempted to consider biopsying the ones that aren't going away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be able to do that today?
Yeah. Depending on how many teeth we've got to do.
But then if these came back as sarcoid, what would you do about these ones?
I'd probably try and take them off in some way.
Yeah.
The bigger ones, I mean, you're right. You mean you couldn't just do
you couldn't do that
block
whole area.
resection. But then it doesn't make sense. I mean, if you say that'll be gone in a few weeks, then that won't be sarcoid.
No.
Biopsy these.
Let's do that, because then at least we know one way or another.
Yeah.
And then if you can find out a cost for me for doing it.
You didn't need to look for teeth to I mean, never say never, but I'd be surprised.
You've not heard of anything like that, no? Okay.
I'll just take these two here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good girl, Annie. Not what I expected for a biopsy.
I was just going to take them off.
Oh, you're taking them off?
Taking them off to biopsy.
Oh, okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's just not what I expected you to be doing.
Just doing a little punch.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Sorry, no,
that you were going to.
I think with these, you're better off having an excisional biopsy and just taking them off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'll stitch it up nice and strongly.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, good communication there.
No, that's fine.
Oh, we need a trickle.
Oh, darling.
You'll get a better answer, a more definitive answer with this type of biopsy rather than one where you just
doing a sample
doing a
from
small
it.
one. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's even making me cringe, and I don't generally with things like this. Oh, Annie, darling. All right,
Stop.
sweetheart. All right, Annie. Good girl. So presumably it doesn't look like it's got a root behind it,
Can't see one now.
which is what
Which
you
is good.
generally expect with a sarcoid. wouldn't you?
Yeah, but you wouldn't necessarily see the root. I mean, they're often sort of very thin and sort of microscopic level. So, I mean, yes, you're right that not seeing an obvious one is a good sign. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's not one there.
Okay.
But it does appear to be superficial, which, you know, if it is just a rubbing, or, you know, as a response to an allergy, that's what you'd expect.
All right, Annie.
Right. Get you zipped up less. Yeah.
Do you remember you did the biopsy on the little growth
Oh, right,
above his
yeah,
eye,
yeah.
and then it popped out?
Yeah.
I just wanted you to have a look at it again because it's still got a growth there.
I'm going to sedate him for his teeth.
Yeah.
So I'll just sedate him, then look at it.
And then
because
look
then
at
it's
it.
going to be easier
Yeah,
to look at
okay.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, obviously the little sarcoid popped out, but there's definitely a growth there still.
And you think that's getting bigger?
Yeah, not quickly, but it's definitely more noticeable. And of course, we don't want it going like Hannah's.
No, it's just the position, isn't it?
Well, it is.
It feels... Well, I don't know. I was going to say it feels like quite deep, but maybe it's not.
Because the fact that it came back as sarcoid, there's obviously something still in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, surgical removal, laser, chemotherapy.
Would you do, I was going to say, would you do the chemo injections like Hannes had rather than laser, just because it's so close to the eye? Or
Possibly. I mean, it's massively smaller, isn't it? And so it's a question of whether you'd actually get it in there or not.
what, the chemo injections?
Yeah.
But then laser is obviously quicker for removing it, because the chemo takes a while to work, doesn't it? And it doesn't he have to have a series of injections?
Yeah. I think I think you could get that off with laser. You know,
How do you protect the eye when you're lasering that close
well,
to it?
that's exactly the question. Yeah, you know, I mean, I'd probably sort of give him a nerve block in here to stop him blinking.
Yeah.
tape it down like that, so he can't open it, and then you'd be local anaesthetic in here, and then you literally just sort of pull it forward with a pair of forceps and just try and go as superficially as you could. But yeah, I mean, it's not without risk.
No. But the fact that it's growing,
I wouldn't leave it.
No.
I wouldn't leave it.
Well, no, not having seen what's happened with Hannes over the years.
It's a bit of a distance from that. I think as long as the nerve block worked well to stop him blinking, because it's a motor. The nerve block you put in here it blocks the motor nerves, not the sensory nerves. And so you'd have to put local anaesthetic in, but it should stop him blinking, or at least blinking with his upper eyelid. So then you've got sort of a stationary surgical field. I think that's probably what I'd do.
Right, okay. I think we'll aim for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nika's turn, and she's suffered with diastemas for years now.
Girl.
So she sees Sam regularly. And as you can see, she loves him too.
Yeah,
she doesn't look suspicious at all.
No.
So she, like most of the horses on the yard today, is going to have a little sleep.
There's a good lass.
Good girl. So some of you might have picked up in some of the live videos where I've shown you how much she's been quidding, which is where she's chewing. Why's she got blood on her nose? That's weird. Where'd you get that from? So explain quidding, please.
Quidding, it's dropping semi-chewed balls or bits of food. So they chew, and then instead of swallowing it or swallowing all of it, they drop some of it half chewed out, and it's nearly always a sign of oral pain. The only reason it's not painful is if very old horses, they've got teeth that are so smooth that they literally can't chew the food properly, and so then it's like trying to chew hay or grass between two bits of glass or marble rather than two bricks. Okay. And they literally just can't grind it, and if they can't grind it, you can't swallow, or they can't swallow unchewed hay. But in a horse her age, we know because she's got gaps between her teeth, the gum gets inflamed and it's painful. That's why she quids. We'll have a look. But it's her that who's got the displaced teeth, and
that's right.
And trying to decide, because we were talking about it earlier, which one had got displaced teeth, and just looking at her records, it's her. And if we're not making any progress, I mean, extracting teeth to eliminate diastemas is very much the last resort. But we've tried a lot of other things, not working, and I do wonder whether that's going to be the best bet, because we'll check in a minute, but her diastema are either side of the displaced tooth, so effectively she's got 4 gaps. If you take that tooth out, all the gaps are eliminated at once.
Yeah.
Because there's instead of having 4 gaps that are tiny, she's just got 1 tooth that's absent, and that in itself isn't a benign thing. You know, if she's missing a tooth, then the tooth opposing it gets overgrown, but that's manageable.
Yeah, that can be filed down, can't it?
Yeah.
So would you not look at bridging her teeth like you were talking about?
It's possible, but because the gaps are in a different position, instead of having sort of 2 teeth where there's a bit of a gap between, and if you can bridge that, it's because the gap's created by the displacement rather than the teeth not being either close enough together or emerging at the right angle. It's a slightly different issue. But yes, I mean, it's not impossible, but we'll have a look in a minute anyway and see. Because we're just not making progress.
Yeah.
You know, and
no, it's been quite a few years now.
Yeah, and it's just going to be miserable for her. Just have a look at the rest of her teeth, make sure there's nothing else.
Is that something that you can only do up at the surgery?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it down here, really.
And you wouldn't do the bridging down here on Hidder? Or would you?
Not ideally.
No, it's fine. I'm just trying to work out if we've got 4 horses to come up to you, how I do that.
I mean, she'll be a bit more comfortable now. I've picked them out, but I think, well, it's, because the teeth are displaced, they're growing sort of that way in the mouth rather than that way. There's an element of complication to the extraction. because you. But I think it's going to be the best thing to do.
Right.
'Cause
So
I
basically,
don't think we're
we've got.
just not getting anywhere with what we're doing.
Okay, so we've got her for an extraction.
Yeah.
We've got
I mean-
Hoitzer for his arthramid and his teeth.
Yeah.
And
One of
we've
the things about her is that we'd normally put a nerve block in. Depends on how hard they are to get out, but I mean, she probably needs a nerve block just to make it so she doesn't feel it. But you can't do both sides at once because it makes one side of the tongue numb.
Right.
And if you do both at the same time, she
Then
can't feel a tongue.
And then she's going to chew on it.
Well,
bite on it.
there's the risk of her damaging
Yeah.
a tongue, yeah. So you'd really have to do, well, I mean, in theory, you could potentially do one in the morning, one in the afternoon, or otherwise it's one day, one the next. The extractions,
Right.
do you see what
Yeah,
I mean?
because there's two teeth to
yeah,
extract.
yeah. So you could leave with us overnight. You could do one day, one the next. Or I mean, to be fair, if we did one in the morning, and it was straightforward, it'd be worn off by afternoon. And you could do the one in the afternoon.
Right, so I could come up in the morning with, say, her and somebody else. I'm going to have to work that out. Take one of them back and then come back in the afternoon with the other two because we need her to come up, Hoitzer, Hidder, and Ice for his eye.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. That's going to be a busy day, Frey.
Yeah.
Do you fancy a trip up to Penrith?
Yeah, we'll do day trip.
You want to do a day trip?
Well, the
leaky nose.
yeah, the thing to do would be to do her first
In the morning.
in the morning,
Yeah.
and then assuming it. Yeah, well, probably what we'd do is we'd block her nerve blocker, her jaw,
Yeah.
X-ray her feet while that's working, get one side done, and then assuming it went all right, do whoever else you brought up for whatever, and then potentially do her other side in the afternoon once the
Yeah, so
anaesthetic had worn
whoever
off.
else I bring up with her, I'd need to take back that morning.
Oh,
Because
right,
obviously
okay.
I'm only going to have 3 spaces for coming home.
Got you.
So whether she could be
Well,
done
no,
second.
well,
so
no. The thing to do would be, because the nerve block can take a while to work, would be to put the nerve block in, do whoever we're doing, whoever else you've got, and the person the one will take. So Ice probably won't be very long.
So if I
and then
bring
there's-
Ice and her, and you do the laser on Ice while the nerve block is kicking in on her,
Yeah, and then you've also got
Hidder and Hoitzer. So Hidder for the bridge
yeah.
and Hoitzer for the arthramid
All right.
and whatever his teeth are going to need.
Okay. Yeah.
Because with Hoitzer it might even, well, would you want to extract at that age? Probably wouldn't.
Probably not. If we
But
can avoid it.
it might be an option to bridge him as
Yeah.
well.
Possibly. Yeah. Again, it's all a question of getting him still enough.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Right.
I think that's why we haven't in the past, is because honestly, you just can't do it if they're not still.
Well, it's because his back legs.
Yeah.
Because he's so weak behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
I wake up in the morning with a smile on my face, feeling thankful for the love and the happiness we chase. Sun is shining brightly, sky so blue and clear. With every breath I take, I'm grateful you are near. So grateful, yeah. Thank you for the laughter, thank you for the tears. Thank you for the moments that we hold dear. Thank you for the love, thank you for the light. I'm grateful every day. You make my world so bright, oh so bright. The world can be a crazy place, with valleys and with peaks, but you bring joy into my life. Turn frowns into G.